What's up, guys, and welcome back to Thean's Garage. In today's video, we're going to be throwing some new brakes on the Scrambler. Let's get right into it. I got this brake kit off Amazon. It's front and rear brakes. I know the fronts and the rears are pretty bad, and I'm pretty sure I need new rotors, but we're going to worry about that at a later time. So I'm going to throw some of these. I'm going to do the rear brakes first because it's a little bit easier. I don't have to take off the front tires. I don't have to take anything off other than the caliper for this. So I believe these are the rear brakes because they're a little different, and obviously there's two of the same sets right here. So I'm going to say these are the rear ones. I'm going to start back here, and I'm going to take this rear caliper off, and to do that, I need a 14mm socket. It's 2 bolts, one here, one here. Let's get these bad boys off. Now this caliper should just slide right off, like that. Yeah, these brakes are pretty nasty. So it looks pretty simple to take these off. There's this pin holding this on right here. It looks like you just slide this through here, lift it up and slide, and the brake pads just kind of slide right off. Maybe. Yeah, like that. So I'm guessing this is just a spacer that came off that was in between them. Looks like it. So these new ones are a lot meatier than these old ones. I mean, these things are... they're pretty thin if you look at the difference between these. So we should have a lot more stopping power with these new ones. Looks like we're literally just going to slide them back up in there, slide this little thing in between here, and slide this little pin bracket that I pulled off right back through. So what I did was I put the old brake pads back in, stuck a screwdriver, a flathead in here, and just kind of twisted it. And so it really compressed those pistons back in. I'm going to try to get a bigger flathead to do the same exact thing because that seemed to work pretty good. Maybe do this, push this bottom piston in a little bit. It's still slowly moving. That might be enough now to get both of the new pads in with the on top of the brake rotor. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but there definitely is enough room now. So I think what I'm going to do is try to set these things on this somehow and set this block in between here and then try to get this pin through them because I think I need to get this through before I completely set these things on. Kind of like that. So that looked like it worked pretty good, actually. Now, did I put those in the right way? I think I did. No, I didn't. I didn't put the dang pads in the right way. Son of a gun. So I'll have to flip the pad over. But essentially, that's what you do. Slide it through there and compress those pistons, and then your rears are done. Okay, the pads are in there normally now. It looks like there's some blue thread locker on this, so I'm going to throw some on here before I put these things in. I'm going to snug them up pretty good, and then we're going to move on to the front. For the front brakes, we're just going to need to pull these wheels off so we have access to the front caliper. Super easy. 4 nuts there, 14mm to zip this wheel off. Now that the wheel's off, we're going to want to loosen this. I think it's like they call a caliper adjuster or pad adjuster. You just want to give it a couple turns. You don't have to make it super loose. It doesn't have very many threads on there anyway. It's just so you can even spin it by hand there. It's just so that you can pull this caliper and squish it back, basically. I'll show you once we get these other nuts off back here. Okay, there are 2 nuts, one right here and one down here. It's a 1/2 inch socket, so let's zip those babies off. Now that those 2 bolts are off, the caliper should kind of slide off here. And in order to get these brake pads off, you have to compress this little piece right here. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is stick a flathead in between these brake pads. Now these brake pads aren't terrible, but they're not 100% the best. I'm just going to stick a flathead in between here and kind of twist sideways, and it will push that piston back in. So That way we can get our new brake pads in. Kind of like that. Now that piston is pushed in, we're going to push this little, I don't know what this is, this pad thing here, and our brake pads will kind of slide out of here. I want to do one at a time. The back one is kind of the difficult one. That side actually wasn't that bad. And they come right out. Now, like I said, these aren't terrible brakes. Excuse the big chunks out of them because I just did that, but they're not terrible, but I might as well replace them. I'm replacing everything else. This rotor probably could be fixed. This bearing probably needs to be replaced as well. Definitely sounds a little rough in there. That's probably the next thing on the agenda I need to do, is fix the bearing. Anyway, get our new pads and get ready to slip them in. Ew, what is that? It's a nice spider egg in there. Now that we got our new pads, we can slip them in the same way. I'll put it on this back side right here, kind of slide it, and then press this in as far as I can. They don't make this extremely easy. Might have to loosen that little thing some more. That way we can press this in a little bit more. And we should, with that little adjuster out, you can just get enough leverage to pop this pad over this little holder. It is difficult. I got it done on the other side. Like that. As you see, I'm pushing it. There we go. There might be an easier way to do that, but that's the only way I figured out how to get it on. Now, the second one's a little bit easier. It just goes right on. It's that first one that's kind of a pain. So now that those are on, we should be able to slip this back over the brake rotor there and then get our bolts back in, and we're just about done. Just thread these bad boys back in. I don't know what the foot-pounds is. I'll list it somewhere here on the screen. But I'm just going to torque these things down pretty good, and then we'll move to this adjuster. Okay, so as you can see, we're not really getting any contact with these pads, so you need to actually squeeze your handle here. There you go, and it'll tighten it up. And now we have contact here, and you're going to have to break these things in over the next little bit, but you get your little adjuster screw thing here, put it back in, and I'll put on the screen here what the service manual says. It's confused me a little bit, but essentially it says to tighten these things until the pad touches and then back off half a turn. But I don't know what pad it's referring to, so I mean, that's already really tight right there. So is that what it's talking about? I don't know. Because that's pretty snug in there. But this is still able to move, so there's no telling. I don't know, maybe you guys can let me know down below. I'm going to throw the wheels back on because I can adjust this with the wheels on here. I still have access to it on both sides. You can get an Allen wrench in here and get that on there. So I'll get the wheels on, and then we're going to go do the brake in, which is just driving up to 30, slowly pressing the brake to a full stop, and do it 10 times, and it seats the new brake pads in. So I'll get the wheel back on, do that, and then bring you guys back. All right, just got the brakes broke in, went up and down the road several times. I don't have a speedometer, so I don't know if I hit 30, but I went pretty quick and slowed down 10 times, and it's supposed to like seat the brakes, or I forget what it's called. But they're good to go now. Feel good. Pretty tight. It stops a lot better than it did. Probably a lot to do with that back brake because there was just almost metal on metal. So that's how you get your brakes done. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good one. And consider subscribing, like, comment, share. I don't know if I ever say share, but share the video. If you want to consider, if you want to help support the channel a little more, consider becoming a member, 99 cents a month. Get a little bit early access to the videos, and I haven't posted in a long time, at least as of this video, members only video, but I need to post one. So that's it, guys. Hope you have a good one. I'll have these things linked down below. Bye.